Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org. Love Boise State Public Radio podcasts? They are free to enjoy, but not free to produce. If you can give, your support helps keep shows like Idaho Matters and Scandalize available to everyone. Donate now at boisestatepublicradio.org.
It's Tuesday, May 26th. This is The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. Here are this morning's headlines. Firefighters and first responders were very busy this holiday weekend. Controversial sale of public lands in eastern Idaho's Teton County went forward last week. And many western states discovering what Boise already knows. There's power in the ground. First this morning, nonprofits in the Boise area that lost tens of thousands of dollars when a fundraising platform went bankrupt might be able to reclaim some of that money. Boise State Public Radio correspondent Lauren Patterson reports on the latest developments with Flipcause.
Allison Terenzio Moody is the executive director of the Treasure Valley Children's Theater. They put on productions for youth in the Boise area like High School Musical Junior and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Before the company went bankrupt, she used Flipcause to take donations, sell tickets to performances, and manage classes. The company owes her organization about $20,000, and she's not sure she'll ever see it.
Basically, they took money away from our kids, and they took money away from our donors.
Recent developments in the bankruptcy case mean clients will now be able to try and claw back funds that they lost when the company went under, according to a lawyer who has clients involved in the case. Terenzio Moody says she plans to look into her legal options in light of the new developments. For Boise State Public Radio, I'm Lauren Patterson.
You can read more about that story at our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. State police are investigating the shooting death of a man late Friday involving Idaho County Sheriff's deputies. ISP in a news release says a woman called 911 to report a man threatening her life, and when deputies responded to the scene near the town of Lucille, they say shots were fired during the encounter with the suspect and that person was killed. Additional details were not released. ISP will lead the critical incident investigation. The Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office is investigating the drowning death of a 12-year-old boy at Durkee's Lake Saturday. Authorities say rescue teams were dispatched about 7 p.m. when the boy went underwater and did not resurface. He was found and transported to a Twin Falls hospital where he later died, according to authorities. Further details were not released. Law enforcement reported multiple car accidents this weekend, including injury crashes on Interstate 84 in Nampa, Highway 45 in Owyhee County, and a fatal car versus semi-truck head-on collision early Monday morning in Caldwell. That accident on Simplot Boulevard near Farmway claimed the life of a middle-aged Homedale man, according to state police. On Monday, a rollover crash in the Magic Valley community of Paul sent 5 to the hospital, including 2 minors, by air ambulance. It was an auspicious beginning to the period known as the 100 Deadliest Days, the summer travel season, which typically sees a greater number of accidents, fatalities, and injuries on the roads. Firefighters were busy this holiday weekend, too, as wildfires near Kuna, Oakley, Stanley, and elsewhere burned in what are already very dry conditions. The Moore Fire in southwest Ada County sparked Saturday afternoon, reaching about 1,400 acres before being controlled about 24 hours later. Bureau of Land Management says response included air and ground units. A cause has not been determined. Southeast of Stanley, a fire on Sunday afternoon near Fishers Creek Road burned an outbuilding and came within about 30 feet of a structure before being controlled. In Valley County, the Deadwood Fire on the north end of Deadwood Reservoir is nearly fully contained now after being reported Saturday. A Boise National Forest spokesperson said about 220 firefighters were working that 30-plus acre blaze. It's thought to have been caused by lightning smoldering since a previous storm. Monday's storms appear to have kicked off multiple fires in south central Idaho, including the more than 500-acre Summit Creek fire east of Oakley, the 2,000-acre DeWolf Fire just northeast of the Minidoka Wildlife Refuge, and the 1,500-acre Black Ridge Fire east of Richfield in Lincoln County. In northeast Owyhee County, the Kenyon Springs Fire quickly grew to 3,000 acres after being reported early yesterday afternoon. Crews from multiple jurisdictions are responding to those new blazes. To East Idaho now, where a much-discussed parcel of state-owned land in Teton County was sold, despite 5 years remaining on an active grazing lease for the land. The sale is controversial to many residents in the rapidly expanding and increasingly costly Driggs and Victor area, partially because of who wanted to buy it, billionaire financier Thomas Tull. The Idaho Capital Sun reports the sale happened Friday at a public auction held in Garden City. A holding company connected to Tull placed the only bid, meeting the $5 million minimum reserve price for the 160-acre plot. Tull already owns thousands of acres in Idaho's Teton Valley, including adjoining parcels. The Jackson Hole News and Guide previously reported Idaho officials say a clause in the contract allowed the grazing lease, worth about $1,000 a year to the state, to be broken and the parcel sold. A representative for Tull told the Capital Sun the land would not be developed, and the lessee, a cattle farmer, would be able to continue to graze cattle on the land. The $5 million proceeds will go into the state's land bank fund to purchase new state endowment lands. Geothermal energy has played a key role in downtown Boise for decades. It has long lagged behind solar and wind, though, as a source of cleaner energy. But there's a new wave of investment in our region seeking to push it closer to the mainstream. Here's the Mountain West News Bureau's Jenny Kinsey with more.
The Mountain West Geothermal Consortium, a bipartisan group announced this month, is working on strategies. Director Mike O'Connor says the biggest hurdles are policy, finance, and regulation.
We saw costs drop about 80% in the last 5 years, and so we anticipate a lot more steep reductions.
Nevada is leading the way with geothermal plants, but companies like Fervo Energy are branching into places like Milford, Utah. A 100-megawatt plant there is ready to switch on, following an IPO that helped push the company's value to around $10 billion. The consortium is working with officials in Utah, as well as Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico to find more support for the industry. I'm Jenny Kinsey for the Mountain West News Bureau in Albuquerque.
A few sports notes before we go this morning. An unfortunate but unavoidable first for Athletic Club Boise over the weekend, the club's first ever loss at home. Fort Wayne FC got 3 of 4 shots on goal into the net to take a 3-1 win. Frustrated Boise coach Nate Miller Saturday called it the team's poorest defensive showing of the season. AC Boise wraps up a 3-game homestand this Wednesday, hosting the Sarasota Paradise. Kickoff at Expo Idaho at 7. At the NAIA World Series in Lewiston, host Lewis Clark State College was eliminated yesterday by tournament top seed Taylor University of Indiana. The 2026 World Series tournament runs through Saturday on the LCSC campus. The College of Idaho softball team saw its season come to an end at the NAIA World Series in Georgia in a 6-0 loss to Our Lady of the Lake University. That's a school in Texas. The Yotes were held to 4 hits. It was the first time C of I softball has advanced to the final site at the NAIA Softball World Series since 2021. Thanks for listening to The Connector on this Tuesday. I'm Troy Oppie. We'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with your daily news podcast. Be sure and like and subscribe. It helps other people find this podcast too. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. Our general manager at Boise State Public Radio is Tom Michael. Our website, of course, boisestatepublicradio.org. Make it a great day.
You know, every day on Up First, NPR's Golden Globe-nominated morning news podcast, we bring you 3 essential stories. At the heart of each story are questions. What really happened? What really mattered? What happens next? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious and to follow the facts. Follow Up First wherever you get your podcasts and start your day knowing what matters and why.